Hello, hello. My name is Mashadi Matabani, and I am a teacher at St. Paul School in Concord, New Hampshire. And I'm so sorry that I can't be there with the rest of my panel for this Women's Techno Labor presentation, but here I am from Concord, New Hampshire, where it's freezing cold. So anyway, I'll just jump into it. Musical entertainment is a long-standing, clear and present market for Black female labor. Through the voice and the spectacle of the singing Black woman, as Farah Jasmine Griffin has described her, Black women have a long and well-established representational legacy as vocalists in pop, blues, jazz, soul, gospel, and R&B in the United States and around the world. However, if you strap an electric guitar onto this same singing woman, she risks becoming rendered a phantom musician. The electric guitar is an iconic American instrument, critical in the creation and evolution of American popular music. Wound up in powerful cultural fantasies of gender, race, class, and sexuality, the instrument is representationally dominated and idealized as a culturally white and masculine enterprise, and as a signifier of virile male sexuality. When it comes to playing the electric guitar, white men rock, first and foremost. Meanwhile, all the women electric guitarists are white and all the Blacks are men. This occurs despite the fact that Black women actually have a long history of extensive participation on the electric guitar. Memphis Minnie in 1940s blues, Nora Lee King in 1940s jazz, Sister Rosetta Tharpe in 1940s gospel, Peggy Lady Bo Jones in 1960s rock, Barbara Lynn in 1960s R&B, and Hazel Payne in 1970s, well, I guess disco. She was in A Taste of Honey. Just to name a few. Their historical contributions remain largely unheralded. So does the ongoing presence of their musical descendants, like Bebe McGill, who's lead guitarist in Beyonce's band, Felicia Collins, a member of the David Letterman Show's house band, Daniela Cotton, Tamar Kali, Suzanne Thomas, and Beverly Guitar Watkins, all of whom continue to be variously overlooked in contemporary popular culture. Informed by historical research and Black feminist cultural frameworks, I conducted oral history interviews with 10 self-identified Black women instrumentalists ranging in age from 21 to 73. These are women who lead multi-scalar lives, representing different eras, social classes, musical genres, and levels of professional success. Almost all have released singles or albums independently or on medium-sized or mainstream labels. Some teach music and or perform music, both regularly and sporadically. From illuminating Black women's visibility and mastery with the electric guitar emerges knowledge about how the instrument impacts Black women's self-development and cultural liberty. In terms of Black women's self-development, the electric guitar is an instrument they can use in thrall to their own desires and demands. Whether composing, practicing, or performing, the instrument fosters Black female interiority and provides the means for its external release. A musician stated that she was, quote, overjoyed inside, and is keen to, quote, share that joy through my music. Another said, quote, it's natural for me to have a guitar and to be on stage. It's part of who I am. Still another said, when I pick up the neck and I wrap my hand around it, I don't know, it becomes an extension of me. It's beautiful. It is possible to consider the instrument at such moments, I argue, as submitting or being placed in the position of submitting to their musical and bodily priorities as Black women musicians. Musical priorities include professionalization with the electric guitar in the interest of entertainment, evangelizing, and education, which a broad range of my interviewees participated in. Bodily priorities include the opportunity to experience sheer joy in the physicality of their bodies with the instrument on stage. The electric guitar involves intensified full body movements, gestures of immodesty, irrepressibility, and vigor. A blues and hard rock musician who admitted to feelings of alienation being a Black woman musician on the instrument finds herself embracing symbolic manifestations of what she called freedom and power. Through playing vehemently loud, demonstrating her technological engagement and mastery of the electric guitar, like what it might feel like to fly in the sky where one can swoop down into the valley and change direction like a bird. And whether off stage or on stage, she says, when you're pumping 100 to 120 watts of power through an amp, it's just, and she was speechless when she said that to me. A blues musician from Detroit who has been able to travel around the world sustaining herself as a guitarist said playing the instrument, quote, gives you a feeling of power and equality. How about that? Playing the electric guitar also enables Black women to call upon an understanding of themselves as resources with expertise born out of their music making with the instrument. They become their own advocates, constructing alternative possibilities for reimagining ways to learn and access information and opportunity. For nearly all of the women, playing this instrument requires a heavy investment in themselves and their talent. They must take care of their instruments and keep them in good working order. Plan dynamic performances fit for meeting the needs of different public spatial locations, a casino stage, a coffee house, an outdoor park, a nightclub. Care for their physical bodies in order to stay healthy and limber by exercising and maintaining other physical health regimens, and ensure fair negotiation for their working presence and musicianship. Being able to display versatility, artistry, and performativity on and with the electric guitar is a demonstration of Black women's own internal perceptions and expectations of what they are capable of doing with their music and their bodies. In terms of Black female cultural liberty, Black women's musicianship with the electric guitar contends with a, quote, racialized, sexualized, and exploitive history that has resulted in Black women and their bodies becoming systematically overdetermined and mythically configured. Thus, Black women's self-directed creative development with the instrument not only challenges negative external perceptions of them, but it also contributes to the expansion of opportunities, real and representational, for Black women to choose who they want to be and to choose to do that which they value. This in spite of coercive and discriminatory practices that would seek to prevent them from ever making it onto a stage due to stereotyped expectations based on gender and racial bias. As singing instrumentalists on the electric guitar, they are a population hidden in plain sight. As noted earlier, they contend in a field where Black women possess a timeless global presence as vocalists, and even as instrumentalists on the piano. As singing instrumentalists, they also function as sonic and visual interlopers on an instrument perceived as beyond their musical interests and capabilities. Said one musician whose onstage repertoire ranges from punk music to soul, "The frustration I have is the fact that there is a rejection of me, in that it's a rejection of my Blackness and my womanhood. Yet at the same time, there is a sense of joy at being an interloper, constructing alternative perspectives about the electric guitar, challenging idealizations of the instrument by bringing their race and gendered selves to bear. Further, some musicians engage the instrument as a catalyst and a mediator in dealing with this invisibility by reveling in their perceived uniqueness as Black women playing the electric guitar. For example, DR is a young woman in her early 20s seeking superstardom as a lead guitarist in a heavy metal band of her predominantly white male friends. Quote, "I don't feel like I feel any different than the guys who are playing," she says. However, she is fully aware of how she is perceived as a Black woman expressing herself in metal on the electric guitar. Quote, "I come on stage, I hear a lot of people and they're like, you know, when you first came on, I was like, man, a Black chick in a band? And she plays guitar? This is gonna suck." Metal's such a white male dominated genre, she acknowledges. So I think it's kind of like when you see a white boy rapping. You know, people are kind of skeptical of that because it's not the norm, like Eminem, until they find out he's good. I think it's kind of the same thing for a girl playing lead guitarist. Number one, even a Black girl getting into this kind of music, but one that takes the time to actually play guitar and learn guitar. As soon as I go into a solo, she says, they're like, oh my God, she actually knows what she's doing. Women like DR recognize the cultural significance their very presence with the instrument can hold because they know this combination is culturally unfamiliar, though it should not be. They can accrue value by constructing and marketing themselves and their musical presence as a rarity, an exception. Doing so has actually helped some musicians to book gigs, request higher billing on shared musical programs, garner higher pay, and sell more products. DR is also, excuse me, DR is also an example of the ongoing real-time possibilities for tracing a Black womanhood mediated or filtered through an intensive communication of an identity with the electric guitar. Born in 1990, the electric guitar emerged for her as one of many things that she has access to and that she feels entitled to play. It has, quote, changed my life. I've met so many people and done so many things just through playing guitar. It's really cool. I almost feel like I owe it something. Indeed, quite a few musicians feel a debt of gratitude to the electric guitar for transforming the landscape of their lives. As a blues player keenly shared with me, the electric guitar has taken me places that money couldn't buy. Interestingly, in advocating for themselves, many musicians inevitably end up advocating for others. At least 3 of the musicians interviewed are committed to community building and outreach, facilitating access for women to play in the public sphere. One creates and leads guitar workshops at local colleges. Another musician used to work in the classroom of underprivileged youth and often took her electric guitar into the class. Yet another dreams of organizing a local initiative that will travel to expose women and girls in challenged communities to music instrumental performance. Doing so is her way of sharing hard-earned knowledge to help inspire other girls and women to follow in her footsteps, specifically as a musician. The only way things can change, she believes, is for people to have more opportunities to see more Black women playing instruments, especially the electric guitar, in public and playing well. Like other musicians I spoke to, she has a particular interest in encouraging young women to play. Like other musicians, she has taken the burden upon herself to build avenues into music and musical performance among marginalized young women. In sum, I believe that Black women guitarists enact a bodily insurgence, modeling Daphne Brooks's notion of the, quote, renegade ways that racially marked women use their bodies in descent of social, political, and juridical categories assigned to them. Strapped to their bodies, the electric guitar, an instrument technologically amplified, flowing with scientific power and electricity, functions as a tool of metaphoric empowerment for those struggling with very specific kinds of real-world social and cultural disempowerment. Thank you. I'm so sorry I'm not there to take questions, but you can email me at mashadi_matabani at verizon.net. That's MASHADI_MATABANE at verizon.net. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.